Hello and welcome to the Week 13 recap slash Week 14 predictions video. Once again, I ran short on time this week, and I only have time to do one recording session, so I'm gonna jump right into it. It's gonna be a bit of a video right now, and I'm hoping to get through it pretty quickly. We're gonna jump right into the recap of Week 13. All the games were on Saturday, and the first was number 8 Penn State at number 2 Ohio State. Now I picked Ohio State winning this one at home, and they did. Penn State woke up late in that game and played a lot better in the second half. However, Ohio State still pulled away with the win. I think the final was like 28-17 or something along those lines. It was close. Next was Western Carolina at number 5 Alabama. Alabama won. Number 10 Minnesota at Northwestern. I picked Minnesota to win this one, and they did. They got their 10th win of the season. I think only their 6th 10-win season ever in school history, and they're looking pretty good heading into their final game of the season against Wisconsin. Next was Samford at number 15 Auburn. Auburn won the game. Illinois at number 17 Iowa. I had Iowa winning that game, and they did. They kept their. They don't really have hopes for the Big Ten championship game now. That since Minnesota won, now if Minnesota loses to Wisconsin, it's pretty much going to be a three-way tie there, and I think Wisconsin will get the nod there, having beaten the other two in the ties. So, if that were the case. So I think Iowa's pretty much out of it, but they're looking to get as much as they can out of the season. Number 21, Oklahoma State at West Virginia. Now, I picked Oklahoma State to win this game, and they did. They had to come from behind to win it. Final of, I believe, 20-17, but they won the game. Kansas at number 22, Iowa State. Kansas played hard in this game. I give them credit for that. They did not roll over and die. That being said, Iowa State did pull away late and won the game. Boston College at number 16, Notre Dame. I picked Notre Dame to win this game, and they did handily. They defended their home turf again, and I think this last time for the season they play at home, so their streak is still alive, looking to go into next season. Next is Texas State at number 24, Appalachian State. Now, I had Appalachian State winning this game, and they did at home. They get to 10 wins on the season, looking to capitalize, and they're in a position where if they win, actually tonight as I'm recording this video, if they win tonight, they will have an 11-win regular season, which is their first since moving to Division I in 2014. Their current record is 58-17. So they're in a good position right now. That's in Division I since they moved up to Division I. They're looking pretty good right now. They could get their first 12-win season this year. We'll see what happens though. Texas A&M at number 4, Georgia. Georgia won this game. I thought they would. They've got too much on the line to falter right now. They're going into their in-state rivalry to end the season with Georgia Tech next weekend. And then it's on to the SEC championship game. Next is number 13, Michigan at Indiana. Indiana played good in the first half, kind of, but Michigan pulled away big late. I gotta tell you, ever since beating Notre Dame, this Michigan team has looked and felt different. This is not the same team that lost to Penn State, or the same team that lost to Wisconsin earlier in the season like that. This is a different team, and it's going to be interesting to see how they hold up next weekend, this weekend. Texas at number 14, Baylor. I picked Baylor to win this game. They did, and if I remember correctly, they pretty much demolished Texas, which puts Baylor in a position where if they win their game this next weekend, they're going to get a rematch with Oklahoma. It's going to be entertaining to watch that one. UCLA at number 23, USC. Now, I have USC winning this game at home, and they did. Pretty handily. They let up a lot of points to UCLA, but they scored a lot more. Number 25, SMU at Navy. I picked Navy at home for this one, and I was right. Navy pulled off the upset of number 25, SMU. They improved themselves to, I believe, 9-2 on the season, and they've got a couple games left, including the Army-Navy game in what is technically week 16. Purdue at number 12, Wisconsin. I picked Wisconsin to win this one. They did. It's pretty much a breeze through as they go into their final game of the regular season against Minnesota. Number 18, Memphis at South Florida. It really wasn't a competition. I had Memphis winning this one, and they did. Next was Arkansas at number 1, LSU. LSU had this one. I doubted Arkansas was going to be able to keep up. They played really well for the first part, but LSU came away with the big win. Temple at number 19, Cincinnati. I picked Cincinnati to win this one at home. They did. However, like I said in the predictions video, Temple kept it close, and I believe the final was like 15-13 or something like that. It was really close, low scoring. Number 6, Oregon at Arizona State. I picked Oregon to win this one on the road. However, Arizona State had other plans. They came in and basically had their way with Oregon for the first 3 quarters of the game. Oregon tried to play hard at the end to catch up, but this wasn't quite enough. And Arizona State gets the home upset win over Oregon and basically ends Oregon's hope at making the playoffs. TCU at number 9, Oklahoma. I had Oklahoma winning this one, and they did. However, it was an entertaining game because early it was just all Oklahoma. And then it was like after the first 4 drives, Oklahoma could not get anything together. It was weird. It's going to be interesting to see how Oklahoma holds up going into the final parts of the season. Number 7, Utah at Arizona. I had Utah winning this game on the road. They did pretty handily too. And next was number 20, Boise State at Utah State. I had Boise State winning that one. They did get the win, which means the only game I got wrong last week, was the Oregon-Arizona State game, which put me at a 21 of 22 correct on the week, which was a 95.5% correct rate. And currently on my games that matter for the season, I'm sitting at 212 out of the 252 correct. So, that is it for the recap video. On to the games that matter week 14 predictions. Now, I realize at the time of recording this, as well as when this is posted, the first 5 games on this list will be over. In fact, I already made my predictions last night, but because it was Thanksgiving, I was with my family. I did not have time to record the video last night. In fact, I was out of town and I did not get back home until almost 1 o'clock in the morning. But I didn't record the video. Then my predictions were already set. I have not changed anything. And even though some of the results for these games are already in, I'm going to wait until after the weekend for the recap video before I go into the results for those games. So, games that matter, week 14 predictions. Friday, November 29th games. We had number 24, Virginia Tech at Virginia. Now, I picked Virginia Tech to win this game. I felt like Virginia Tech had the stronger season leading up into this game. They have 2 games in a row, but they have not let up a single point. So they're playing stellar defense, and they're putting up a lot of points as well. So I'm kind of leaning towards Virginia Tech in this game. Number 17, Iowa at Nebraska. Now I'm picking Iowa on the road here. I feel like Iowa's got a strong finish ahead of them. Nebraska is getting better from last year, but they're still struggling. So I went with Iowa. Number 19, Cincinnati at number 18, Memphis. I picked Cincinnati to win this game. I feel like Cincinnati's had a strong season, and they're looking for a stronger finish against Memphis on the road. And this one is pretty much for a berth to the AAC championship game. Number 20, Boise State at Colorado State. I picked Boise State on this one. They're on the road, but they're playing a Colorado State team who I believe is 4-7 coming into the game. So I went with Boise State on the road. And number 25, Appalachian State at Troy. I'm picking Appalachian State to win this game here. Troy is a good team. They've had some struggles this year, but I think Appalachian State is on a war march right now. They've been upset ever since that Georgia Southern loss. Had they won that game, they'd be undefeated at this point, and they know it. And they're playing lights out right now. So I got Appalachian State on the road. Saturday, November 30th. The first game on that list is number 1, Ohio State, at number 13, Michigan. I'm picking Ohio State here. Now, I know I just went off earlier about how this Michigan team is a different team than the one that lost to Penn State and Wisconsin, but I think they will play better, and they will be in this game until the very end. But I think Ohio State's going to win this game. I think Ohio State's on a march right now. That being said, this game is interesting because it means generally nothing to Ohio State. I mean, other than the fact that it is a rivalry game against Michigan, they want to win it for that reason alone, and that is enough. But if they lose this game, they're still going to the Big Ten Championship. If they go to the Big Ten Championship and end up playing a Minnesota team there, who's a one-loss team, ranked in the top 10, and they beat them for the championship, they could still make the playoffs. Yes, winning this game makes it easier, but they're not out if they lose. Michigan, it's everything. They haven't beaten Ohio State since Jim Harbaugh took over. And I think that this game could be Jim Harbaugh's job on the line. So they're going to come out with as much as they can, everything they can to win this game. We'll see where it goes. But I'm picking Ohio State on the road. Number 3, Clemson at South Carolina. I'm picking Clemson on the road here. I know South Carolina was a giant killer earlier. They played Florida really closely, almost beat them. They beat Georgia, but I think Clemson's going to win this one, in my opinion. Number 4, Georgia at Georgia Tech. I got Georgia winning this one. Georgia Tech's they've struggled recently, and especially this year. I'm going with Georgia. Number 5, Alabama at number 15, Auburn. This game's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. I think it's going to be a defensive slugfest. I'm picking Alabama on the road. I think Alabama's got good season going, and they're looking to win this game. It's all business. Yes, it's a rivalry, but it's all business right now because they have to beat Auburn to have a shot at making the playoffs. Number 12, Wisconsin. At number 8, Minnesota. I am picking Minnesota at home here. I think Minnesota is going to clinch their first berth to the Big Ten championship game since its inception. And I think they're going to get their 11th win of the season and go nuts on campus. This team is special because what I'm looking at here is PJ Fleck's ability to make a team buy into his program. Because I'm not disparaging the Minnesota football team. Their talent pool is much less than the ones they've been playing. They have a lesser talent pool right now than Wisconsin, than Ohio State, than Penn State. And they're playing like they don't. And that's impressive. And I can't wait to see what happens when he starts getting that talent pool. So, I think this is a bright future for Minnesota. I think they're going to win this game and go to the Big Ten championship. Number 9, Baylor at Kansas. I got Baylor winning this one. They're on the road, and I think Kansas is going to give them troubles. But I got Baylor winning this one, trying to clinch their shot at a rematch with Oklahoma. I think they think they can beat Oklahoma the second time around. They knew they had them beat the first time around. Rutgers at number 10, Penn State. I got Penn State winning this one, hands down. Oregon State at number 14, Oregon. I'm picking Oregon to win this one, but I think Oregon State is going to keep it close. It's an in-state rivalry, and Oregon State's actually had a pretty decent, okay team this year, and Oregon's kind of wavering right now. Number 16, Notre Dame at Stanford. This game is a rivalry game, so expect anything. I think Notre Dame's going to win this one. Stanford's play has been kind of weak this season. So is Notre Dame's at times, but Notre Dame's has been strongest in the last 2 weeks. I got Notre Dame winning this one on the road. Texas A&M at number 2, LSU. Now, I'm picking LSU to win this game. They're at home. It's to cap off their season right before they go into the SEC championship game. I think it's going to be close for a while, but I think LSU will pull away late. Number 23, Iowa State at Kansas State. I'm picking Iowa State to win this one on the road. However, I expect a close game here. Kansas State is going to try and fight for everything they can get to salvage the season after it's been so much up and down, into the top 25, out, back in, back out. I think they're looking to salvage, and I think they're going to not go out without a fight. Colorado at number 6, Utah. I got Utah winning this one at home. This is their last game of the season for them before the Pac-12 championship game, and I think they're going to look to punch that ticket and get things going. They're hopeful for a shot at the playoffs at the end of the season if they can win the conference. Florida State at number 11. Florida, this in-state rivalry is renewing again this year, and I got Florida winning this one. I think Florida is going to this Florida State team is not that good. They've struggled. They've been playing better recently, but I think Florida just overpowers them defensively and wins the game. And last, but certainly not least, number 7, Oklahoma at number 21, Oklahoma State. This is a matchup of one of the greatest, in my opinion, in-state rivalries in college football. It's always fun. There's been some really good, really, really fun classics in this series. We are probably going to get another one. I have Oklahoma winning this one on the road, but I think it's going to be one of those back and forth, who has the ball last moments in this game, and I think that's going to be Oklahoma getting the win on the road here, punching their ticket to the Big 12 championship game. And that is it for this week for the predictions. Thank you guys for tuning in. Again, I am so sorry that these videos have been rushed lately, but thank you for staying tuned, and thank you for watching. If you like what I'm doing, don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons, and leave a comment below. Let me know, who do you guys think is gonna make it to the playoffs this year? Who's got the best shot to win it all? Leave me a comment below, and as always, I'll see you after the weekend for the Week 14 recap.